compliance is important. Even if when we have timelines, it has comply so that everyone has enough time to appreciate the documents before they are sent to them. Yeah, that's my position.
Very well. You want to say something? I think let me conclude. Maybe let me get clearly from the auditor. Are you ready to proceed with the reports that you have looked at? Because you said you've looked at car and loan, mortgage, and partially education fund. Are you ready to proceed with those?
Yes. Yeah.
Very well. And I'm sure our clerk is also ready to proceed. So, honorable members, I think we will proceed. We look at car loan and mortgage scheme, and we look at what the auditor has reviewed and the education fund. What remains will be the county emergency fund and what you do not have done in the education fund. And my proposal, just like I ruled in the morning, we do not want to be a committee that keeps on inviting governors to do bits of work which you can do in one meeting. So the clerk, I now direct that the two funds, the emergency fund and the what we do not consider under education fund, relevant reports for this committee, so that that day is not wasted by just looking at 1.5 funds. We also look for other things to deal with. So that date, the clerk will look at the sheet and I'm sure that will be sometime after May this year, because we are going to look at the funds until the end of April. Then we will start looking at entities in counties, the corporations in counties. So I direct that be covered during that period. Secondly, honorable members, we had a meeting last week in Naivasha for liaison committee, and there is a serious concern by the liaison committee that our two committees, our two accountability committees, PAC and PIC, we are not current in our work, and they are requesting that we try to maximize our work so that we cover reports and ensure at least we are current. So I think the procedures are there, as Senator Olekina has said, but where the auditor is willing to proceed and the county is willing to proceed, like in this case, I think let's not be bogged down by some of these procedures. So therefore, I direct that we proceed. We look at the car loan and mortgage scheme and education fund. For which years? Which years did you cover?
Yeah, for car and mortgage, we were able to cover the 3 years, 1920, 2021, and 2021-2022. Then for education, we were able to cover 2019-2020. Thank you.
Okay, so I propose we start with education fund. Honorable members, education fund for the year, you said 2019-2020. Yeah, it is this file. So I now invite the auditor. Please take us through in brief, give a brief summary of your report, and then you take us to the first query.
Thank you, Chair. We have a report of the Auditor General on Nandi County Executive Education Fund for the year ended 30th June 2020. Report on the financial statement, and the opinion obtained was a qualified opinion. And the basis of qualification, paragraph 1, we had comparative figures and non-submission of 2016-2017 financial year financial statements. As was reported in the previous year, the financial statement presented for audit during the 2017-2018 financial year reflected comparative figures for the year 2016-2017. However, management has not to date prepared and submitted the financial statements for the year ended 30th June 2017, contrary to Section 10(4)(a) of Nandi County Education Act 2016, which stipulates that within 3 months after the end of the financial year, the fund administrator shall submit the fund's financial statements to the Auditor General. So consequently, the accuracy and completeness of the opening balances for the year ended 30th June 2020 could not be confirmed. We've received the management response. We've looked at it.
Just stop there. Once you read the query, once you read your query as stated there, then the next part is for the county to respond, their written response. So, Governor, you may respond, or you may ask one of the officers to give the response.
Thank you, Chair. Chairman, Honorable Senators, the non-submission of the 2016-2017 financial year statement within the stipulated time frame was an oversight from the part of the management of the fund. We have subsequently, ever since, committed and continue to adhere to the required timelines and the law.
Auditor, your comments?
Chair, I just need some guidance here. Can I get the Auditor General report? I'm trying to look at, and maybe Governor, you can guide us. We'll look at it.
When we are looking at 2019-2020.
The report itself. Where is it?
It is in the file. We will check in the file.
After university. So, Chair, are we doing number 1?
Yeah, because the other one, the other report, he has not finalized.
Okay,
so we are only considering 2019-2020. So, auditor, give us your comments following the response.
Thank you, Chair. Even though the management has acknowledged this, that they did not prepare the financial statement, comparability is one of the important attributes of our financial statements. Now, if it is prepared and there is a comparative figure which cannot be confirmed, then to us the issue remains unresolved because we cannot confirm those comparative figures.
Chair, I still haven't seen the responses from the Governor. I've only received this. That's a document we don't have.
The second, actually the second page of that file. The second page of the file.
Okay, can I go?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Governor, let's look at your response. And let's look at the query that the Auditor General has raised. I'm particularly concerned with the query because I find that your response was not substantive in terms of responding to the issue. Because the Governor, you've said that it was an oversight. This is an issue of a fiduciary responsibility. The auditor said, however, the management has not to date prepared and submitted the financial statement for the year ended 30th of June 2017, contrary to Section 10, 4A of the Nandi Education Fund 2016, and it proceeds and talks about what it stipulates. I don't know whether you understand what the auditor has raised here. These financial statements are not just prepared for the sake of being prepared. They are prepared so that they can be audited. Auditor, maybe you can clarify one thing. Given that the governor did not prepare these financial statements, did you audit? Because then what are you auditing? That's number one. Governor, your response does not answer the question. How do we mitigate? You have a team that is supposed to do the work. You're not the one who is supposed to do the work. You're the one who carries out the blame. Can you ask your team where these financial statements are? Because until to date, they have not been prepared. So really, we are not comparing anything. And it's not even a matter of comparison, auditor. It's a matter of that legal obligation, the fiduciary duty. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Chair, I can add.
Senator Kisa?
Governor, for you know what it means then, if these particular financial statements are not submitted, it means this particular audit query will appear throughout, even if you submit for 2019, 2020, 2018, 2019. So basically this audit query will appear throughout because your financial statements, opening balances will not be there. So it will appear throughout. So basically, by not sorting out this particular query, you will have the same problem occurring each financial year. So you need to resolve this and finish. Otherwise, you know, it will be appearing all the time.
Just before maybe allow the governor to chip in. COB, what's your comment on this? Because the funds are supposed to be filing annual returns. So what is the status of this fund?
Thank you, Chair, for the opportunity. It is also one of the outstanding issues I wanted to raise, if you give me an opportunity at the end, because they have not been submitting those financial statements to the Office of Control of Budget, subject to Section 168 of PFM Act, whereby they're supposed to submit these statements every quarter to the office. So it's an issue that we also raised in our report when we went to do M&E exercise of these established funds in that county.
Okay. Fund administrator, is he here? Is he? The fund administrator. You know you are the CEO of this fund. Of the government.
Let the government answer first.
The governance, yeah.
But yeah, as I have indicated, let me just allow the CEC Finance to respond and the fund administrator, because I'm already given that issue.
Proceed.
Thank you, Chair. The financial statements for the said year were subsequently prepared. What has not happened is the auditor has not gone back to audit backwards. So in that case, it remains here because the auditor has not audited that financial year. But we did go back and prepare. The chair.
Just on a point of order, Chair. Auditor, you've said in your response that you still have not seen those financial statements. Were they submitted as part of the responses? Because if the governor, what you're saying is true, then this would not have been your response. And I want to remind you that we go with what you've written. So when we sit down and retreat and write the report, we just say you've not done it. Do you have the documents here with you? And have you submitted them to the auditor?
CC Financial, proceed.
We can provide the document that we have done, only that the auditor did not work backwards to.
No. Chair, Governor, can you guide your CC? I'm not here to waste my time. You've written responses here which we are fighting on the timelines. And you've said you prepared those documents. You're now swallowing your words again and saying the auditor has not gone back to re-audit. Can you give us those documents so that we can actually prove that you've actually done that? And they should have been part of this. Your response should have been, we note the oversight, however, attach other financial statements prepared for the auditor review. So what you're telling us here, Governor, I want to remind you as CC that you've taken the oath on their behalf. So don't take us around in circles. Provide us with what the query is asking for.
Governor, proceed.
So, Chair, it's clear that from my team that the document was prepared, but it was not submitted to the auditor, and that means it's an outstanding issue. I note.
Chair, Governor, you know, I like you because you're a former senator. But you know, we can't take that answer. That document must be submitted today. If it is indeed, it has been done. I'm sure when I see you're an IT person. Why can't you send it now for us to see that it has actually been prepared?
Governor, please.
As directed, let's work on it, and I will just allow the fund manager to get the team to send the document right now, and maybe before the end of the
Okay,
meeting. That's
sure enough. Yeah. Let's proceed.
Yeah. So I think you send it to the auditor and also send it to the committee.
Chair, can I add something?
On the same?
Yeah, on the same.
I thought we have...
No, but you overlooked what I was trying to ask.
Okay.
I think, Chair, what we need to know is that financial statement is the heart of any organizational entity. And my only concern is the management response. Even if this was an oversight, there should have been even indication of reprimand or even administrative action. Because if it recurs in future, in as much as committee would want to mitigate or to argue, this is a very serious issue, unless there were also capacity issues at that point in time. Because I think financial statements are very critical. It will affect the entire discussion of the entire audit. Because it is the heart of the audit. So if you don't get it right on the financial statement, it goes to the heart of engagement of the entire audit. So, Chair, I think the management should have even indicated that, one, even if these people have air capacity, then they should have been even an action of administrative action or even reprimand, so that when you write your report, there is you are clutching into a straw before even you drown. Thank you, Chair.
Very well. Maybe the fund administrator and the CEC. I think you must understand that the law is very clear on non-submission of financial statements. And maybe the legal counsel, you can read out the relevant section of the law on the issue of non-submission of financial statements. It's an offense not to submit statements to the audit.
And Chair, maybe before the legal counsel reads, the controller of budget raised a very important issue, that she too has not been receiving this document. So maybe you can amend your ruling in terms of those documents should be submitted to the three parties.
Yeah, the three parties, we have COB, Auditor General, and us through our club. Proceed and read to us the relevant law on submission of documents.
Chair, with your indulgence, I'd like to draw attention to the Public Audit Act, that is section 62, on other offences. A person, it states that under subsection 1, that a person shall not without reasonable cause or lawful excuse obstruct or hinder, assault or threaten a member of staff of the Office of the Auditor General or professional acting under the Act. B, without justification fail to provide information required under this Act. C, without justification fail to provide information within reasonable time that is required under this Act. D, submit false and misleading information. E, misrepresent to or knowingly mislead a member of staff of the Office of the Auditor General or professional acting under this Act. Or F, interfere with or exert undue influence on any staff of the Office of the Auditor General or on any person authorized by the Auditor General to perform functions under this Act. Subsection 2 states that a person who contravenes subsection 1 commits an offence and is liable on conviction to a fine not exceeding 5 million shillings or to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 3 years or to both. Thank you, Chair.
So the CEC Finance and Fund Administrator, you are the accounting officer for this, so you need to know that that is an offence. And maybe next time this is done, the committee will not be very kind. Will they recommend that section of the law be enforced. So, but for today, we will agree to move on with the statements that you are going to send to us. The auditor will look at them and give this committee a report. And if we are happy with the report by the auditor, then this query will stand cleared. But for now, I think this query is still outstanding before we get communication from substantive and satisfactory communication from the auditor. So we will now proceed to the next query. You want to say something?
Yeah, nothing.
No, we need to manage time.
I know, we need to manage time, but Chair, this particular violation keeps on recurring. So I don't know, I don't mean to contradict what you have said, that we have decided not to crack the whip on this particular section 64. But I wish that the committee could have churned into this. Because I think it's high time people need to start understanding that this is a very serious offense. And especially when you look at this particular entity, yes, it's